In the beginning, there was no America. There were only vast lands, forests, and native tribes who had lived here for thousands of years, free, wild, and proud. Then came the ships from Europe. In 1607, the English founded Jamestown, Virginia, the first colony in the New World. They came for gold, for land, and for a new start. Life was harsh. Many died of hunger and disease, but the dream of building something new never died. Over time, more ships arrived. 13 colonies stretched along the Atlantic coast, from Massachusetts in the north to Georgia in the south. People farmed, traded, and built towns. They spoke English, but slowly they began to see themselves not as British, but as Americans. Then came the taxes. Britain was drowning in debt after the French and Indian War and began taxing the colonies on tea, paper, and goods. The people were furious. They said, "No taxation without representation." They wanted freedom, the right to govern themselves. In Boston, things turned violent. British soldiers fired into a crowd, the Boston Massacre. Then one night, colonists disguised as Native Americans dumped British tea into the harbor. It was rebellion in its purest form. The king was enraged. Troops were sent. The colonies prepared for war. In April 1775, at Lexington and Concord, the first shots were fired. The shot heard around the world. Ordinary farmers stood against the British Army and refused to back down. Soon after, leaders gathered in Philadelphia. They chose George Washington to command their army. And then, on July 4th, 1776, they declared independence. Thomas Jefferson's words shook the world. All men are created equal. Those words became the soul of America. The war was long and brutal. The Americans lost many battles, but they never gave up. In the winter at Valley Forge, Washington's army nearly froze to death, but their spirit burned bright. Finally, in 1781, with help from France, the Americans defeated the British at Yorktown. The impossible had happened. The United States of America was born. But freedom was just the beginning. The young nation had no real government, no money, and no unity. The first system, called the Articles of Confederation, failed. So in 1787, the Founding Fathers met again in Philadelphia. They argued, debated, and finally wrote the U.S. Constitution, the blueprint for democracy. In 1789, George Washington became the first president. The new nation began to rise. Soon, America started expanding westward. The Louisiana Purchase doubled its size. Pioneers crossed mountains and rivers chasing land and hope. But under that dream lay a dark truth. Millions of African slaves built the fields and the cities. The nation that promised freedom kept millions in chains. By 1860, the division became unbearable. Abraham Lincoln was elected president, and the southern states broke away, forming the Confederacy. The Civil War began, brother against brother, 4 years of blood and sorrow. When it ended in 1865, slavery was abolished, but Lincoln's life was taken. His dream, however, survived. A government of the people, by the people, for the people. After the war, America rebuilt itself. Immigrants from every corner of the world arrived through Ellis Island, chasing the American dream. Cities grew, factories roared, and railroads connected east to west. The Statue of Liberty rose in New York Harbor, a symbol of hope for all who believed in the second chances. Through the 1900s, America faced new battles, world wars, depression, and civil rights struggles. It sent men to the moon and voices to the streets demanding equality. It became a land of technology, culture, and global power. Yet through every storm, one thing remained: the belief that freedom is worth fighting for. From Jamestown to Washington, from slavery to civil rights, from small colonies to a vast republic, America's journey was not easy, but it was extraordinary. The United States of America was not built in a day. It was built in courage, written in struggle, and carried by hope. And even today, its story continues. A story of people who believe that no matter where you come from, you can rise, you can dream, and you can make a difference. That is how the United States was born.